What's up, y'all? It's been a few days, but I am back. And what's up? Welcome to my channel. If this your first time clicking on, I want to say thank you to everybody that said happy birthday to me. Don't start, please, with the hunking. Soon as I want to record, it's some noise. Like they was quiet all morning. Seriously, don't start the hunking. I wanted to say thank y'all to everybody that told me happy birthday. I really appreciate it. I felt so special, like from all of the comments. Like, thank you to everybody, to you. Everybody, thank y'all for that and being patient with me. But I am back today, and we have another story time. Before I get into all the story time stuff, again, if this your first time clicking on, welcome, become a part of the crew. Subscribe to your girl channel, like the video, leave a comment down below. I will respond. If I'm up to it, if it's a good comment, if I like y'all, I will respond. Go ahead and do all that good stuff. And I was just talking to somebody about tipping culture, right? Like, how do y'all feel about tipping culture? Like, is it necessary to tip everywhere you go, like in a restaurant? I feel like sometimes it is. If the service is good, I give a little tip. If the service ain't good, I might leave a little tip or no tip. Like, I feel like it should not be mandatory. It should be something that we choose to want to do. Because other countries, some countries don't even tip. Like, they actually pay their workers. I say that to say, one time, y'all, when I was younger, my dad took me to this restaurant. Uh, it was a buffet, actually. We went to a buffet when I was younger. And buffets, they usually just bring your drink out. They take your little drink order, and that's pretty much it. They come by the table every now and then, make sure you need a refill, and you get up and get your own food. And we were leaving the restaurant, and my daddy was going in his pocket to get a tip. And the waitress, she was just standing around waiting for my dad to give her a tip. So my daddy gave her a tip. And I don't know how many dollars it was, but she looked at it and she was like, "That's it?" And y'all, I was so taken aback. Like, I was so shocked. Like, I never thought that a waitress or waiter would say something like, she was like, "That's it?" Child, my daddy snatched that money. He said, "Now you ain't getting shit." I was too embarrassed, y'all. I was too embarrassed. I was younger. Like I said, I was too embarrassed. A couple of people was looking at us, and the waitress, she was just standing there, just stuck, looking crazy. My daddy said, "Now your ass ain't getting nothing." That's crazy. It's too embarrassing. But I just had to say that because tipping people, they just be too hostile. They unhinged over tips. But enough of the rambling. Let's go ahead and get to the story time. So before I got into the relationship that I am in now, when I was younger, I was in another relationship, it was a long-term relationship. We was together for some years, and we met we met online, and he told me his name was Chris. And me and Chris, we would talk on the phone a lot because I was in high school. If you watch some of my story times, you know that I was on lockdown. My dad was pretty strict with me. I didn't go out many places. I had to sneak out. So me and Chris would talk on the phone like for months. And I was digging Chris. Chris was a nice guy. We had a connection. Like it really felt like he was my boyfriend. And I hadn't even seen Chris in person at this point. So we did lose contact for maybe a month or two, and I was truly sad because I liked Chris. But one day, he called my phone and he told me, "Yeah, I lost my device, this, that, whatever." And me and Chris reconnected. So as time passes by, a few weeks later, he eventually tells me, "Hey, Chris is my nickname, my family calls me Chris, but my real name, we're going to call him Bo." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, Bo, you could have told me that. But, okay, Chris is your family nickname, but your name is Bo. So I'm going to call you Bo because, we're adults here. I'm going to call you Bo." Me and Bo was kicking it. I really, really liked Bo. Like, he was cool. I fell in love with Bo pretty fast, even over the phone. Like, um, the times where I was on lockdown, he still would come to my house, because again, if you watch my story times, Pop would be across the street at Miss Mary house doing what grown folks do. So I was home by myself a lot. And, around the time I was, becoming a young woman, I was dating Bo, and he would come over there, spend hours in my room, child. Yes, we would be there. Sometimes we would go in the backyard. We was hanging. Long story short, me and Bo we was here. Like, me and Bo, we was here. Like, that was my dude. Like, I made him my boyfriend. I fell in love with Bo pretty hard. So now it's come the time where I'm like graduated high school. We're a few months into dating, and I have a little more freedom now. Like I can, I'm my dad is not so strict on me now. I'm 18. I'm out of high school, start college in a few months. Like let me live a little. So he didn't have a car. I didn't have a car. We had a train though, and I started going to his home. Like he always would come to my house, but it was my turn to go to his house. So sometimes, well, the first time I caught the train all the way down south to his house, and he stayed in like a two-story townhouse. I walked up. I was like, "Yeah, this is very nice. I like this." So I goes in the house and it's very dark upon entry. I can see this big TV. I can see some lady sitting on the couch. I can see like the light from the TV, like, illuminating on her. But I could just see her sitting in the dark on the couch. And she just looks up and I make eye contact, and she's like a short lady, very dark skinned. She had very short hair, just an older lady, just. And I'm just like, I looked at her and I'm like, hello, how are you? Because that's how I was raised. You walk into somebody's home, you do what? You speak. So I'm like, hello, how are you doing? My name Yolanda. And she just looked at me and she's like, hello. And, both take my hand and we go upstairs because I said it was a two-story. So he had a bedroom, and across from his bedroom, his older brother stayed there. Now, I didn't get to meet the older brother at this point. He wasn't there. He was at work. I'm not sure, but I just know that somebody across in the bedroom stayed, and that was his brother. And so that was the first interaction, like my first time going to his house, seeing his mom, and yeah. And has anyone just ever had like dated someone, whether you were married, just dating for a long time or what have you, and you just don't get along with their mama? Why is it it's always mothers, and it always seems to be older mothers? Like why mom and quote unquote mom-in-laws always have problems with their sons, a girlfriend, a wife? Why? I'm not sure. This seems to be a common thing. And this was my first time dealing with a whore, a mom-in-law monster. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to just continue going on with the story for y'all. And although I was graduated high school, we still would like go to the Hunch Motel. I'm just keeping it real. We still would go to the Hunch Motel because we wanted privacy and we just wanted to do what we do. And sometimes my pop was still at Miss Mary's house. He still would come to my dad's house and we still would hang over there, just to have privacy because his mom was always there, like on the couch. That's all she did was just sit on the first floor watching TV on the couch. So me and him would like hang out all the time. It was the summertime. I wasn't in school just yet. And so me and him would just hang out all the time. We would be going here, there, getting rooms, doing what grown folks do, having a good time. But we did not go to his mom's house all the time. It was very few in between. And I kind of liked it like that. I don't know. And no, I'm going to describe to y'all how his mom looked every time I saw her. Hello, how you doing? Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Hey, girl, how you doing? Hey, girl, how you doing? Y'all, if you're old enough on my channel watching me right now, no, I got paper towels stuck in my mouth. That was snuff. Snuff. I think it's called snuff. And snuff is just grounded up tobacco. You ever seen a tobacco chewer? They usually have it on the side of their jaw and you see like that big lump because my grandpa used to chew tobacco. He'll hold it there on the side of his mouth and just spit the juice in the bottle. Snuff is just grounded up dry tobacco and they put it right here on the bottom of their lip and let it sit there to where the tobacco and the stuff sink into their gums, and that's how they get their fix. So that was the first time I've ever heard of snuff, was from Bo's mom. I seen her one day, the first time I seen her, she was in the dark. I just said hello. But as I started going over there very slowly, I was there to see her on the couch, and she had this big cup on the floor next to her. It was so disgusting. It was just full of brown spit. And I got close to her one day and I seen that her bottom lip was just big. I didn't say nothing, but when me and Bo went upstairs, I was like, Bo, what's wrong with your mama face? And he was like, that's snuff. I'm like, what the hell is snuff? And yeah, like I just said, she put the tobacco, like she put the powder right there and it gets like a ball and it just, y'all, wildest shit ever. So one day, I got into it with my pop, y'all. I remember it like yesterday because it was something that hurt me. Um, I got into it with my dad over some directions. My older brother, remember if you watch my story times, I have an older brother. He's like almost 50. He always would have cookouts at his house. He stayed very far. So my dad was already at the location and he tried to give me in both directions there. And my dad is very old too. So he just was left, right, left, right, left, right, confusing us. So when I finally made it to the function, I confronted Pop. I'm like, Pop, you had us going around the city. Like, what's up? But the reason why I confronted Pop was because he had an attitude with me. And I'm like, yo, you have an attitude with me, but you was giving us the wrong directions. Things went left. I said some things. Pop said some things. We clashed. We got into a bad argument. I ended up leaving. Me and both sped off. I was crying. I was devastated. He said some things to hurt my feelings. And I went to the house and I packed my stuff up very abruptly, fast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Got all my things, put them in garbage bags. And Bo was just like, I don't want to see you cry. Like, stop crying. Like, it's okay. Like, we gonna go to my mom's house. We gonna go to my mom's house. So, I get my stuff and we drive all the way to his mama house. Oh yeah, at this point, Bo had gotten a car. Like, I've graduated high school. Time is going on. Bo has gotten a car now. So I was like, okay, that sounds cool. Y'all, I was very, very young and I was going through things. I was rebellious. I made life hard on myself. I went through a lot of things to just make my life very hard at the time. And I was in love. So yeah, I moved with his mama. Now on the way to his house, I did have a conversation with him. I'm like, hey, is it cool for me to move in your house? Like, you didn't even ask your mom. He was like, nah, don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. Like, I paid most of the rent there. Like, we have HUD. For those of you who don't know what HUD is, it's like a Section 8 type thing. And he's like, yeah, I pay most of the rent there anyway. She don't even make any money. So I'm like, okay. And that's when I had a thought in my head, like, maybe the mom is she's a little, I don't know, she's just there. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe him and his brother run the house and the mom is just there. That's what I put in my head because he said he didn't have to ask her. And I thought, okay, cool. And I'm trying to remember as many details as I can because so much has happened. And on the way to the house, we did have a conversation about his mom. She, because she just stared at me most of the, stop snitching on me. So she just stared at me most of the time, right? So he did tell me, don't talk to her. Like, don't really talk to her too much. My mom is a little funny acting. So we get there. It's nighttime. She's on the couch watching TV with her cup next to her with the tobacco spit. We comes in the house with all of the bags. I proceed to go upstairs. Of course, I speak. I'm like, hey, I haven't even named her. I don't know. I'm just gonna call her. I'm just gonna refer to her as mom. I'm like, hey, Bo mom. I speak and I take my bags because I'm sad. I'm still crying. I go upstairs. She didn't say anything. The vibe was cool. So in my head, I'm thinking everything is cool. Like his mom is cool. Like she vibed with me. Like I never really got any strange vibes from her at this point. It's just that every time I come in the house, she says hello. She just stares at me very strange, But I didn't think much of it. She's older, I just thought she was just looking. Maybe I'm pretty. Like I told y'all, his brother stayed there too. I had met his brother at this point. His brother did have a girlfriend, and his girlfriend would come over all the time. One thing I did notice about the brother girlfriend, she did not speak like excessively to the mom. She literally would come in the house. She would say hello to the mom and she would go right upstairs. She didn't say nothing else. Know how your day was? Oh, what did you do today? Oh, girl, this. Oh, girl, that. It was never none of that. And I kind of thought it was kind of rude a little bit. She spoke, but when she spoke, she just hurried her ass upstairs. So one day I'm there. Like I said, school hadn't started. I'm about to start college pretty soon at this point. Bo was at work. His brother was at work or gone or whatever. Nobody was there. It was just me and the mom. So I'm upstairs bored. So I wanted to go downstairs and just talk. So I go downstairs and me and the mom start talking. I was sitting on the couch and eventually we end up on the front porch and we were talking. So we were just talking normal talk. We seeing people ride by on the bike. We're talking about the bike. You know, the school buses is passing by. We're talking about the daycares in the area. She stayed in an area where it was like very popular touristy area. So we would talk about the restaurants that was like down the street. And then eventually some time passed by and this car pulls up. The car pulls up, this lady gets out and she starts to walk to the unit that was like across the way, the other townhouse, right? So I'm just sitting there. The lady is putting the key in her door and she looks back and she said hello to Bo Mom, right? So Bo Mom is just like all smiles, y'all. Hey girl, hey, what's up with Christina? Oh, yeah, I seen Christina last week. Your daughter beautiful. Yep. What? I'm so happy to see that girl. What? She's so big. Oh my God. I'm talking about Bo Mama was just all smiles. Just and so I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, okay, she's cool with the neighbor. Her and the neighbor are friends. She just all smiles in this lady face. The neighbor is talking back to her. I'm like, okay, cool. They have a good relationship, you know? So eventually the conversation wraps up and the neighbor proceeds to go in her house. As soon as the door closed, y'all, Bo Mama gonna look at me and she talking about something. Oh my God. How we on hood? We on hood, girl. And I seen a late notice on her door last week. We don't even pay that much rent. Excuse me? So I'm sitting there. I was all smiles at first. Y'all already know me. My face tell it all. So I'm like, oh no, she not. She getting messy. She getting real messy. So she was like, "Yeah, girl, I seen a late notice on her door," and I was like, "How you know it was a late notice a letter?" She was like, "I walked over there because she walked through the building all the time or something like that." She was like, "Yeah, I walked up on the door and it said she was late. They said she had this amount of days before they was gonna evict her, girl." Like, and she was just talking to me like I was down with it, like. She hadn't got my vibe yet. Like, I am not a fake biatch. Like, girl, I am not finna sit with you and kiki with you. You just was smiling and laughing in this lady face. And now you telling her business. But that's not it. You remember that name Christina? Christina is the neighbor's grown daughter, right? So she was like, and Christina, she pretty and all, but she a hoe. I seen her. She supposedly got a fiance, but she was outside cuddled in a car with some boy the other night. She a hoe. She a hoe. And I was just like, oh my God. My face, I was just like, oh my goodness. Bo Mama is so fake. I was like, oh my God. So I was just, y'all, what do you do when something like that happens? I just was, so much stuff was running through my brain. I was just like, this lady is so fake. Sometimes it just really catch you off guard. Like, she was so quiet at first. She is so fake. So she's just rambling, talking about this lady, right? Time goes on. I eventually make an excuse. I go up back to the room, to me and Bo room, and I'm in the room. So Bo come home from work. He's in the shower and he comes in the room. I'm sitting on the bed. He's like, "What's wrong with you?" I was just grinning. I'm like, "Bo, your mama fake." He was like, "What?" Now, when I said your mama fake, most men would be like, "Don't talk about my mama like that. Like, what you mean about what you talking about?" He was like, "What you mean?" Like he just knew. So I'm like, earlier when you was at work, me and your mama was sitting on the porch and the neighbor pulled up. She was smiling. Then when she went in the house, your mama told me all the neighbor business. He was like, "Don't talk to her." I was like, "What you mean don't talk to her?" He was like, "Don't talk to her. Like, I told you don't talk to her." I say, "Well, I stay in this lady house. What do you mean don't talk to her?" He was like, "I told you don't talk to her. Like, just say hi, come upstairs and stay upstairs if I'm not here. Like, don't talk to my mama. Like, don't talk to her." How he was saying it was just like, it was like he want me to be rude. I can't be rude. So he just kept telling me, "Don't talk to her." I felt it was kind of rude to do that, but I kept it in the back of my brain. So time is going on, you know. School has started for me. I'm not at the house as much. Um, Time just going on. Me and Bo, sometimes we would have little arguments, little disagreements. We never fought. We never like. I never was loud cursing in her house. I never was like disrespecting him, calling him FNs and B's. I never was that kind of girl. We would have disagreements. We would like I would raise my voice a little bit, but I always was aware that it was other people in the house. His mom was downstairs. We would have little arguments, but my voice project, but I always made sure that I did not scream in her house. So one day we had a little disagreement, but we decided to go downstairs and go to the backyard and do a little smoky smoke, right? What I'm doing now. His mom is what? On the couch watching TV. We walked past the mom. I'm trying to keep conscious in my head. Bo said, don't talk to her. So we walk past her. I'm just like, hey, and I keep walking. We go in the backyard. We're smoking. We're still talking. Now we have calmed down and we're trying to find a solution to our problem. Like me and him is really like talking, communicating. I just had an epiphany. I just had a feeling. I just had some energy just come through me. Was just like she's listening to y'all. And the reason I had that feeling was because when I walked past her, she was eyeing me down, y'all. She was looking me up and down when I walked past her. So something told me she is listening to us. So I was like, okay, I finished the conversation with Bo, and when we finished talking, we was standing right by the door. Y'all, I opened the door, and guess what? She was like this. But she tried to like walk off real fast. She tried to like act like she was picking up something. I can't explain it. Like I opened the door and I could see her like this, but she was like trying to pick up something out the door. I seen you, girl. I seen you, girl. She was listening. And then it was more awkward because when I opened the door and I seen her like trying to fake pick up something, I was just like, and she was just like, staring at me back, kind of confirming like, yeah, I was listening to y'all. So I was like staring at her for a little minute, and I just closed the door. And I was like, Bo, your mama weird. Like he was like, what? I say she was just listening to us. I was like, I opened the door, she just moved from the door, like acting like she was picking up something off the floor. He was like, I told you my mama weird. I told you my mama weird. So, y'all, I don't listen. A hard head make a soft ass. Take it from me. So again, I'm off of school one day and I'm bored. Nobody's home. I go down here and I'm continuously talking to this lady. I don't listen because she's still nice to me. She nice. She nice and nasty to me. So I don't learn. I'm still down there talking to her, and I noticed that she listens to me, but it's mostly about her. She talked about her family. She talked about her imaginary friends. She talked about the neighbors. She talked about ex co-workers. She talked about everyone. She has children. I knew every one of her, like her grown children. They don't talk to her. I knew all of their life. Like I knew everything that was happening in their life. Like she talked about her family so bad, y'all. She talked about her daughters so bad. She talked about her sons so bad. It was just so, it was so it's like, yeah, I sat down there and I talked to her. It was kind of intriguing. I'm just going to be honest with y'all because we hear about these fake ass people all the time. But when you're face to face with one just blankly, just fake, I was kind of intrigued because in order to beat an enemy, you have to know their ways. I already see she's a snake. I already see she's fake and phony, and she can't be trusted. So I was kind of I kind of was at peace sitting down there talking to her because I wasn't gonna tell her none of my personal business, nothing. I just was bored and I let her talk. But she was so conniving. She even talked about Bo as if I'm not his girlfriend. So yeah, I just had to throw that in there, like to tell y'all the concept, like how she was as a person, very conniving. Like I told y'all, school had just started. I was in class. It was like we had to do some little. I'm horrible in math. Well, not horrible, but I really dislike math. I had a math class and I did very very good on my little test. I got a B, y'all. So the school is right like 10 minutes from where we stayed, from where Bo mom stayed, and I got my B and I hauled ass. I left the school and I went home. She never went anywhere. Guess who's on the couch? Bo mom. So I comes in the house, and now at this time I told y'all Bo had got a car. This is another thing. She would always like try to use this car. Like me and him as young adults. Um, she didn't have any license. From my understanding, she didn't drive. Every time I tried to use his car, like to go to school, she would try to make excuses why she wanted the car, and I never gave her the car. When he come home from work, he would like try to like do something, and she would make excuses of places she need to go, and he would never give her the car. So I feel like she was building resentment against me. She already probably didn't like Bo because she talked about him, but she was building up that resentment against me for sure because she wanted to use this car. She had nowhere to go, y'all. She had nowhere to go. This lady was old. She had nowhere to go. She would try to make excuses to go to McDonald's. She just wanted to drive the car. She just didn't want me to have the car. But when I would drop him to work in the morning, I would have the car. I'm his girlfriend. I had school. So, okay, y'all, back to it. I come home, I had my B. She's on the couch. Nobody's home. Again, a hard head make a soft ass. I don't listen. I'm downstairs talking to her. I'm telling her about my B. She was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy. That's a good job. You did so good." And I'm just like, she is so fake. But I won't get my ass up and go upstairs, right? But I'm thinking like she is so fake. But she's like, "Congratulations." So she's going on and on. Like I told y'all, she talks about everybody, her family, friends, what have you. And we just talking. So some time goes on, and Bo's brother open. I can hear like the key in the door. Somebody's coming in. It's Bo brother. So I'm sitting on the couch. I look at Bo brother, and she's the mom started talking to him, and she was like, "Well, I was texting you. Why you didn't text me back? I need that money." He was like, "Man, ma, like you always asking me for money. I just gave you some money. You always like." They was going back and forth about some money, right? So she was like, "Well, you could have texted me back. I need that money. I need the money." So he starts to get mad, and as he's walking up the stairs, he was like, "And you don't even want that girl to stay here anyway. You don't even like her." And I'm sitting on the couch. I'm not surprised. I was just like, I'm I was like, what? It's like I was getting kind of used to this. It was like, no, he didn't. It's like he wanted me to know this. He wanted to put her on the spot, but he also wanted me to know how fake and phony she is, and like, why are you talking to her? So she is just horrible. She was like, "I didn't say that. Why you saying that?" And he was just standing on the stairs looking at us. He was like, "Yes, you did. You just told me that last night. You don't want this girl staying here. You don't even like her." So I'm just still sitting there. At this point, I'm gathering my little books and stuff because I was showing her my work, and I'm getting ready to go up the stairs. So she was like, "I didn't say that. I didn't say that about you, baby. I didn't say that." And I was just looking at it. I was like, "It's okay. It's all right." Just a little backstory. I debated whether I should say this or not, but I don't talk to Bo anymore. I haven't spoke to Bo in years. I haven't seen his mama in since I was like 19 years old. Um, I no longer have these people in my life. I don't care about these people. So I'm going to tell the truth because I'm all about truth. I'm as real as they come. So I want to build my backstory on this woman, how bitter and miserable she was. So before the brother interrupts and say what he said, the conversation, I was listening to her. So she finally told me about her life. And okay, so she got this snuffing of her bottom of her lip, and she just talking to me, and I'm listening to her. So she used to work for waste management a while back when she was a young woman. This guy worked with her, and he was married. She was aware that he was married because the wife would come up to the job, cause chaos, cause fights with him. She knew he was married. Anyway, her and him started talking. They started having sex on the job. A year or two later, she finds out she has HIV. I think she said she tried to he quit the job or he got fired. She wasn't able to get a hold of this guy. Yeah. So she pretty much never got to speak to this guy ever again. She found out she had HIV. So ever since then, she just never dated again. She just been miserable. She talks about everybody. She hate her family. She hate her children. She hate her neighbors. She hates anybody beautiful inside and out. She's just so miserable. So I just had to get that out to build the backstory on this woman. And you can better believe I was like, Bo, why you didn't tell me this information? And he was just like, well, that's her. Like, she eventually was gonna tell you anyway, because she tell everything. And he was absolutely right. I barely went downstairs in the first place, because it was a bathroom at the top and a bathroom at the bottom. I never went to the bathroom at the bottom. Excuse for me for being a little, it might sound insensitive, but I just had to be very extra careful around this woman. I stopped eating her stuff, like her everything. Like, I just did not trust her after the brother said that she did not like me. So it was just like, damn, I don't even want to stay here anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? So she was a very, very miserable woman, and I felt very sad about that. And it was a whole lot, y'all. It was a whole lot. So Bo come home again, and I tell him what his brother said, and he was like, I told you, stop talking to her. Like, I told you, like, my mom is like, she has problems and she don't like people. I told you, don't talk to my mama. Like, I told you, she don't even like me. Like, don't talk to my mom. Like, I told you this, and I should have listened to him, right? So I started to listen to him. And when I come in the house, she would be on the couch. I just say hello, and I just go up, zoom upstairs. I can feel the energy, her staring me down. She started to not like me. One day I started to, I was leaving the house. I started working at a Victoria's Secret that was down the street. I had to go to work this day. I got off around 2 p.m. I come to the house. All my stuff is in the yard, y'all. All my clothes. I had a sex toy. She threw the sex toy in the yard. All my underwear. Like, she threw all of my bags out in the yard. And it's not like she threw the bags out. She took the clothes out and scattered them around the yard. So I pulled up to the yard. I see it's my stuff. I didn't pick nothing up. I zoomed all the way to Bo's job. I pull up to his job. I'm hunking him. Boom, boom, boom. I'm sorry, whatever you doing, get off that damn tractor trailer and you need to come on. I tell him what his mama did. He tell his boss he have to go. He leave. We zoom back to his mama house. He starts picking all my stuff up out the yard. He goes and I stay in the car because he knew that I was gonna go in there and I was gonna be so disrespectful, which I did. So he tells me to stay in the car. He goes in there. I hear them going back and forth, back and forth. She's coming out her neck sideways at him, talking about me. I get out the car. I slam that car door. I goes inside. He see me coming. He like, nah, stay in the car. I told you stay in the car. I say, hell no. I push past him. She's sitting on the couch. And I say, you know what? I say, you are damaged goods. And I pray for your stinking, tobacco snuffing soul with your diseased ass gums, with your bald headed, pissy ass, you miserable, low down heifer. Like, I literally just was going off on her. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even have to curse at her. And he was like trying to push me out the door. And she was just sitting there looking at me with her big ass fat lip with that damn tobacco. And child, she pissed me off, girl. She pissed me off. So he's picking up my stuff. And he was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Who, child? The brother pulls up. The brother was like, yeah, I told you she don't like you. His girlfriend in the car. And I go to the, Bo tells me to sit in his brother's car with the girlfriend. Me and her talking. She was like, yeah, girl. She was like, she don't like me. I never did nothing to her. She was like, one day I tried to talk to her and she rolled her eyes at me. She was like, ever since I just say hello and I never speak to her again. She was like, I see you down there talking to her. She was like, I don't know why you down there talking to her, girl. She's a very, very nasty person. Like, I don't know why you speaking to her. So I was like, yeah, I learned my lesson. So Bo pick up all my clothes. The brother and his girlfriend pulls off. Me and him get in the car. He's like, don't worry about it. We go to a little city close by. His older sister, I knew her, talked to her. We went to her house plenty of times to hang out and chill with her. She was a video gamer, so we was over her house a lot. We stayed with her for a while. Until, I got older and I got my own place and, other story times. But that's where I'm gonna stop the story time. Yeah, so she threw my stuff out, girl, and I told her about herself, and she's damaged goods, damaged goods, damaged goods. Like, just so sad. Why moms gotta be like that? Why they just have to hate on? I did nothing to this lady, nothing. She threw my stuff all out, child. Had my thongs all on the tree branch, girl. Ooh, she was so nasty to me. I called my mama though. My mama pulled up over there. It's so much happened with this lady, child. She tried to run me over with the car. Ooh, that's another story time. I might do a part two. I think I'm gonna do a part two, child. Ooh, girl. But I gotta I think I'm gonna stop the story time right here. If you enjoyed my story, go ahead and like my video. Leave your comment down below of any experiences you may have had. If you're a woman or a man, if you have experienced a mom monster in law or a dad in law, leave the comment down below. I definitely want to hear about it because I feel like I'm alone. Yeah, and until next time, y'all, I love y'all. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. Peace.